edition. That's right. Yeah. So everybody sitting next to me to my left, and actually almost to my right. Almost to my right are married. We have Stormy and I are the only ones that are married.
That's okay. I'm
just saying, we're the only ones. And I don't even think we've ever been married. But I'm Shelly Williams, single, never been married, no children. And today is just an awesome day. So I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves. And when you're introducing yourself, please let us know how long you have been married. All right, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to my right.
Yeah, just let me get it started, get it out the way.
Yeah, get it out the way. Get off that non-married stuff.
Holidays to all. It's your big homie TC Caldwell, BKA Storm E. Weathers, and I am single, but I am a father, and I am also celebrating 2 years as a host on Single on Saturday Night. This is my 2-year anniversary.
This is second year. Wow.
My 2-year.
It's your anniversary.
Yeah,
we're gonna sing an anniversary song for you.
And yeah, so we're gonna get the unmarried folks out the way. Now we're done. Peace.
Hi everyone. I'm MIguel, and I am married. I am happily married, and I've been married for in 2020 25 years.
Hi everyone. My name is Latoya Scott, and I have been married for, it has been 10 years now. 10 years, 3 kids.
Did you have to think about it though?
I did. I had to think about it. I almost forgot our anniversary this year.
10 years. Look at that. All right.
And that's rare because the women remember all that stuff.
I don't. I'm not the one.
Our relationship is my
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Miguel. This is my wife Cicely, and we have been married for 16 years.
16 years. Woo!
How's everybody doing? I'm Justin Lamar. I've been married for 3.5 years. My beautiful wife and my daughter here, so baby boy on the way.
Yeah, Jess.
Wait,
Jess.
I'm sorry, I wasn't gonna say that. Jump the gun. That's the second time it happened.
All right, pass your mic.
Hi, I'm Janet Simmons, Justin's mother. I've been married 32 years.
And believe it or not, she literally is the inspiration for the whole entire show. We had a conversation when Justin was the guest a while ago, and like literally she was breaking down life and marriage, and I was like, yo, you're so deep. I need people to hear what you have to say. Like seriously, she really had a lot of great perspective, and I was like, we need to hear that as single people and even married people. I wanted some married people or engaged people and relationship people. I know, I'm happy for you too. No.
My name is Meghan Simmons, and Justin is my husband, and Bella is our daughter. We've been married 3.5 years.
Congratulations. Yeah.
My name is Wes. This is my wife Charlese. We've been married for 6 months.
6 months and newlyweds.
All right.
Hey, my name is William Nelson. This is my wife, Victoria Nelson. We've been married for 19 years.
Whoa, Lord. Y'all really been married for a long time in here. Listen, but I think that's an amazing, amazing thing. Like I said, I'm not going to say much today. I just have a couple of questions. But I do have, my uncle has been married for 60 years. He just lost his wife last week. And he told me one thing to say. He said, even in the midst of his wife being sick, she was baptized the week she passed away. And he told me, he said, I see you on that show. Randomly, he watched the show, did not know. He said, you talk that stuff. He said, when you get on there next time, he said, ask everybody, do you know Jesus? I promise you I'm doing this for my Uncle Eddie. He said, to make sure when I get up there, he said, ask them, do you know Jesus? If you don't know Jesus, make sure you get to your local church. I'm not a preacher, so I accept, believe, all that good stuff. Accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, but I'm not a preacher. But go to your local church, because he wanted me to make sure. He told me this when his wife was in the, literally he said the most important relationship you could ever have is with Jesus Christ. And his wife passed away right then. 60 years of marriage. So listen, 60 years of marriage. And all these years I was thinking I didn't have an example because my mother wasn't married. But listen, my uncle was married for 60 years, and so was my grandmother. But
tell you.
Listen, I ain't married though.
You never know where you're going to find love. You never know where you're going to find Jesus. And it's a shame because that's part of the reason why we lost one of our pairs of guests today. But that'll be another conversation because, again, this is a place where this is a show where although we say single on Saturday night, this is for anyone that involves themselves in any kind of loving relationship. Whether if you be single and you're looking for love, looking to be married, you're engaged and want to carry more. Again,
Or if you don't want to get married.
I was just telling one of my friends. I said, listen, my married friends give me hope sometimes. But then just like Shelly said, her dad said about finding Jesus, sometimes you have to see the rocky side of other people's relationships to know that there's not gonna not be a hard time. This is how you manage it and get through it, and that's where the love is takes over.
Let's start with that first question. Getting through the hard times. All right, let's start there because we see everybody, is so in love. I mean, that's the beginning. That's like the first 3 months. But how do you?
6 months.
No, I meant when you're dating. I meant the dating part.
I thought we were talking about after marriage. There's a difference.
I'm sorry. They have been married 6 months, which is an amazing thing because she was actually a guest a while ago and she was single on a Saturday night, and now she married. Look at that. You was engaged, but listen, she was here on Single on Saturday night. All right, let's talk about getting through the hard times, and I think we're going to start there because that's the part that scares me the most. So let's talk about some of the hard times you might have had. 19 years, let's talk you. 19 years. Only because I know a little bit of your background. Only because I know a little bit of your background and getting through a hard time and still remaining married. You got just a little bit about it. Take it home.
Well, our hard time was a blended family. My children and his son, and the fact we got married so early in our relationship, less than a year. So on top of getting to know each other, we had the struggles of the blended family. So that was really the bulk of our hard times. And it wasn't until, I think, I have to be really honest, because my mom was a big part of our problem in our marriage, and it wasn't really until God, forgive me, till she died, that I was able to really open up and love my husband the way he needed, the way I was supposed to.
Absolutely, and you feel like, is your ladder, you know how they say your ladder is your greater? It feels like, and because I've known you for a long time, it feels like you're in this like kid relationship, like y'all are so much in love. It feels like I don't know, it just feels like I can feel it from you different than before. Is that what it is? It's like your ladder is greater?
Yes, the ladder is great, is a lot better. We get along a lot better. I think for me, it was a lot of changing me and not trying to change him, and being open to, well, first of all, like you said, putting God first. And we was going through all that blended family stuff that we went through. I just kept leaning on God. I kept saying, God, what is it? What can we do? What can I do? Or is this right for me? I just kept saying, God, let this be, if this is your will, then let it work.
Did you ever want it to be over?
A lot of times.
That could be Tuesday. I mean,
listen.
It was this morning.
And it's funny that y'all say that because Shelly, you know her, right? You know her?
Yeah.
Me and dude, before he was married, but the strange thing is I knew him before he was married, and 19 years into his marriage, he looks how he looked when we used to hang out. Wow. So love and happiness, despite whatever else is going on, this man is in love and happy. No matter how many rocks he done stubbed his toe on, you kept on that road, bro. And that's why I said it was funny. I was sitting there watching you take your picture, and then when we started talking, it's like it sounded like 20-something years ago when we used to hang out. And he is glowing over here.
He is. No, I'm serious. Cause
listening. Okay.
It is hot. I'm really sweating over here. I feel like we need to go to a break, and we're gonna go to a break and come back and maybe wipe off a little bit. This is Single on a Saturday Night. Thank you to our sponsor for today, which is Family Printing, who did our t-shirts, Single on a Saturday Night. And we're gonna have long sleeve ones coming. I know it's hot. It's cold outside. It's not hot. It's hot right here. I meant cold. We're gonna go to a break because I really am sweating. Right here, Single on a Saturday Night. The marriage edition. We are talking about how to get through the hard times, and I think we should know that because I think that's what scares people in marriage. So go ahead, Nikki.
One of the things that I talk to my couples about is, first of all, like I said, being together for almost 25 years now, I can honestly say out of those 25 years, I add them all up, maybe about 5 or 6 of them were not good years. They were bad years. Now, they weren't all consecutive, but there were times that just wasn't good. I can honestly say, though, I had about 15 years of happiness. Can I say that? Happiness. Okay, and then I have about 5 or 6 years that are like just okay. They weren't extremely good, weren't extremely bad. We just got through. So my suggestion to couples is, first of all, you have to have something, what I call in your relationship bank account. Your good days, your good times have to outweigh your bad times. Because even on my worst day, when I want to stab him, like when it's Tuesday, I have to have a memory that makes me happy, why I want him around. And you know, like Janet's old song, What Have You Done For Me Lately? Well, you making me happy 20 years ago is not really going to help on Tuesday. But Sunday, if you made me breakfast in bed and made me happy on Sunday and I felt really, really good, when I'm going to stab you on Tuesday, I can make it through because of that memory, those good times that we had that was recent to get me through the bad times.
So when you had those not so good times, again, us knowing each other for years and being friends with both of you, but unmarried, it was kind of hard when I, understood that y'all were having some issues. But I guess socially, and how did you deal with that with, say, like with friends like me that know the both of you, want to help, but it's like, how can I help without feeling like I'm taking a side or interfering as opposed to wanting to see my friends happy?
Well, the first thing is, if you're not involved in a relationship, the worst thing you could do is like give advice. You're not there, you're not part of marriage, but you can be supportive. I understand you're hurting. I understand you're mad at him. I understand that you're not happy. How can I help you? It's almost like we're getting through this. You can't fix this for your married friends. The only thing you could do is support them and help them get through it. It's their marriage, their relationship, not yours.
And all right, so Toya, no, let's keep on going. In your 10 years, how do you get through the hard times? or maybe there isn't any hard times.
Well, she didn't almost remember how long she was married, so I don't know.
No,
having so much fun.
Look, 10 years we done been through some things, especially 10 years with 3 kids. Which that also, I would say a lot of our hard times had to do with, we was together less than a year before we've got married, and then had 1 kid pregnant right after marriage. Then after that kid, pregnant right after that kid. Then after that kid, pregnant right after that kid. Wow. So I felt like I was pregnant pretty much 5 years of our marriage. So, so if you can imagine that, I wasn't a pretty happy pregnant person. Yeah, that was, I think, a lot of that, and then a lot of us being young, we had a lot of people, family members who weren't married, trying to tell my husband like different things, like, oh, well, she should be doing this. She should, look, let me tell you something, okay? I ain't gonna be doing nothing but being here pregnant, about to have this baby. I don't care what your aunt, uncle, sister, brother, I don't care what they said. I'm not like them. I don't care. Oh well, when I was pregnant, after I dropped the baby, I lost all the weight. What's she doing? Yeah, like stuff like, you gotta learn how to, you'll have people that come up and try to put division in your marriage, and if it wasn't for God, my husband probably would be dead.
Amen.
I'm just.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Yes, God.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, but in all realness, we kept God first and made sure that God was number 1 in our marriage, and made sure that any advice or any talking in our marriage was of sound advice and not from people who were just trying to hurt our marriage. And when we committed to that helped us with filtering out what was needed, what wasn't needed. And so
I already know this
absolutely.
one.
Let's go.
Had there been a time, and this could be for anybody, during your hard times when you had to just tell somebody else to shut the hell up?
oh yeah.
So go ahead. So how'd you make it through? You just, your mother know. Oh wait, what?
Look, it's a different show. We ain't gonna talk about in-laws.
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go ahead. Go ahead. Hard times. Let's go back in it. Hard times.
This is a friendly show.
I don't know, what part of Philly y'all from? Y'all talking about stabbing and...
I'm a therapist, believe it or not. I'm a therapist.
The therapist.
That's what marriage does to you.
It does. And I thank God for those skills, because I have talked myself off the ledge many times. I'm not suicidal. I'm homicidal. There's a difference. That's right. When you get backed into a corner, you want to be other.
Y'all, all right, let's get through the hard times, because I need to hear some good times, because this ain't making me want marriage at all. So could you please get to these hard times so we can get back to the good times or something? Good times? Come on.
For me and my wife, we have had some hard times, and we're actually currently going through some things with her chronic pain. But right before our marriage, we agreed that we wanted to have children. I've been always wanting to be a father because I've had males in my life that didn't step up to the plate. So I wanted to be what they weren't. And right from the first day of our marriage, we attempted to have children, but we went through 4 miscarriages. And it got to the point where she has been suffering from some chronic pains, to the point where she had to have full hysterectomy, everything like that. And from the male side, as the husband, it was always a challenge because I always felt helpless. Because she's writhing in pain. We've gone to hospital, going to the ER, everything like that. So there was always that helpless feeling on the man's side, like, what do I do? Because as a man, we're taught, all right, I got to break somebody's neck, or I got to go buy something. I got to, But this was always, I'm from Philly too, so. But it was always hard to watch my wife suffer. And the only thing, and it took about maybe 10 or 15 years to get to that point where sometimes I didn't have to do anything per se, but I just had to make sure that she felt secure that somebody was with her. So sometimes it would just be laying with her and just crying with her, or just holding her hand, because a lot of times, I think there were a couple times where I was talking too much. What do you want me to do? Where's the medicine? You want to go to the hospital? To the point where she was just like, just shut the hell up. And then I realized, sometimes females in some relations, they don't necessarily need an answer. They just need to be felt like they have security. And that, it took a long time for me to really figure that out, for her. So the blessing in all that is that God has placed child and teen in our lives. I'm a baseball coach. We mentor, youth, and he keeps sending them. So those are our children, so to speak. So even in the midst of all that, God still sends other children in a different way.
So that's how you get through. All right. 3.5 years. Yes.
Spend a little time. First of all, look at you got the same grade of hair as my daughter, and I need that. Can you relax that? That's beautiful. Look at that. She got the same grade.
I got shoes. You see the shoes though, right?
Yeah.
I want the.
You got those on camera? All right, good.
With the same.
3.5 years, the hard times. I said you got to laugh. You can't take yourself too serious.
Yeah. And look at
Lord knows I don't. She laughing right now because she know. She know. Smile for him.
Oh my.
You gotta laugh. It's one thing I try to do is realize that I am not the only game in town. Right? So I gotta step my game up every single day, not taking her for granted. Because day one it's infatuation. You do anything for a girl. Men act crazy when they first meet a woman. But on day 90, it ain't the same. They know they have their probationary period. You know what I'm saying? But on day 90, you gotta act like they. So that's what I would say, get you through the hard times. Find something to be humble about. Be grateful for who you got. I'm grateful.
47 years.
32.
32.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing it? Who? Oh, you're 47. Yes, 47
okay.
years.
First of all, I want to thank you. I didn't want to do this. It was so many reasons I wanted to back out. Because first of all, I'm shy. I don't like the spotlight on me.
Oh.
But I'm not a Puritan that goes to church all the time, but I am a great person of faith. Mm-hmm. And I said, Lord, if I can help anybody with my story, I'm going to do it. I started getting back spasms and everything. I was like, oh, that's a sign. I can tell Justin this is legit. But I met my husband when I was 18. And I could have made this. I got married at 18. I had Justin at 19. Now, we black women, we private. We don't tell all our business. And why I chose to tell my story, a part of my story to you, I don't know why that day. I do know something. It was your spirit. It was something about your spirit. For me and my journey with my husband, I saw this also because he's sick. He has health issues. Couldn't be here today. I took this opportunity to pay homage to him. And like she said, staying married is not about that one day with that ceremony when everything is beautiful, glossed over, fairy tale land. No. You have to be a totally unselfish human being to stay married. You have to love someone else more than yourself. Because it's many times that I wanted to walk out that door. But as she said, and I can attest 32 years later, this man absolutely good outweighs his bad. It's never been a day that a need or a want that he has not put me or my kids before. And even in his health issues, he still does the same thing today. I wanted him to come today. He wasn't feeling good. And before he left, he said, Janet, and we joke a lot. That's the biggest thing, our laughter. That was how my family is. We're heavy jokers and everything. And before he left, he said, only say good things about me. I said, I got you.
You know the deal.
And I could have said a lot of things, but subsequently, I knew how God set me up for this. My Martha and Leon was my parents. She was his queen. Growing up, seeing how my dad treated my mom, they did absolutely everything together. My dad was a handyman. My mom was right there, pouring concrete, mixing concrete. But the same lady could step out and look sharp as a tack. Was classy. Nothing about her was different. And this is what God was setting me up because I knew what I didn't want growing up. I said, I want a man, just like my dad. And I'm not taking anything less. Now, what do you know when you're 18 growing up? You don't know anything. But I just happened to go to one day, Prudential, and I met my husband. My aunt introduced us. It was seamless. It was somebody I felt comfortable with from day one. And the most, as this young girl said, keep family, keep friends, keep co-workers. Your marriage is just yours and nobody else alone. Don't let anybody come in and try to define what happiness is to you. Because the most deadliest person in a marriage is somebody who is unhappy. And that's what the one I have learned. I don't mean to take up your panel,
anybody.
But that's the most dangerous thing in your marriage. Wow. Someone who is unhappy and are going to come and try to find out why you let him do that. If I'm fine with it, what are you worried about? Mind your business. Exactly.
We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Shelleys and Wes. Let's go to a break. When we come back, we're going to find out. Don't forget, mind your business. Right here, single on a Saturday night. Thank you to TGI Fridays. Thank you to Alvina Styles with the bling. They got the bling and the Happy New Year signs and everything else right here at TGI Fridays. City Ed. Woo. Mind your business.
Oh, you did it.
Funky.
Hey, welcome back. You just got schooled. I know. Anyway, we are back. We want to make sure we get to, even though 6 months. So, how do you get through the bad times, or have you not made it through the points that they have since it's very new?
Right, it is very new. I just have 2 sentences. Keep God first and leave the pride at the door.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Keep God first. Meghan, did you need that? Did you want to add anything to She said, no, you don't add anything. We won't want to leave you out. You sure you don't add nothing?
Okay, I can add something. I think something that's helped Justin and I out is we've looked at the world around us and getting married and seeing that the statistics go higher and higher of just divorce rates. And marriage just being scary to get into. But something we've talked about a lot is what we've seen in marriage is not necessarily the right way. We've got to make it what's right for us. And it may look non-conventional or it may look conventional in different aspects, but we just got to make it our own.
Which you do.
Yeah.
And then since you already let the cat out the bag, you had a skit on Facebook about is she pregnant or not. So is she pregnant?
Oh, she's pregnant.
Oh, congratulations.
And there's a boy. Wait a minute, that was just last week, so you already knew or something?
I was hoping.
I was like, that had to be, all right, that.
I can't let all my secrets out too early.
Oh, wait a minute, you gotta get the mic. You said, so you already knew?
Yeah,
so
we got a baby boy due in April. All right. Yeah, baby boy, so she's gonna be a big sister.
That's like you, pregnant in the beginning.
I apologize. Shout out to all the women for going through pregnancy. I did not know how turbulent that time could be, but I'm with you, I swear.
So did she really forget her pills, or were you really wanting to get
I think
ready?
she's trying to trap me.
No. Wait. Let me ask a question, though.
In my heart.
Were you there?
What, was I there?
Were you there to catch her?
Always. Oh. I was for my
baby.
My
Were you
first,
there to catch the baby?
I was there. I was holding the leg. I was holding the leg down.
Yeah.
It was shaking, but I was holding.
I elbowed the doctor out the way. I said, nah, player. She gonna know this hand first. Hold on. You don't know what I went through to get to this part. Yeah.
Yeah. So we happy to welcome our new boy.
Well, congratulations. I was like, he had to know. I knew it. All right. All right, well, this is the end of this show, but we're going to come back with the good times and really some good tips on how to make it work. And is there any secrets? I don't know if there's any secrets. And maybe make you feel more comfortable with marriage right here at Single on a Saturday Night. It's not just for single people. It's for anybody who wants to know about relationships, any further things. And don't forget to shout out to, the shirts aren't behind me anymore. I'm sorry. I just, you see.
Here they go.
There you go. I'm just going to point to our T-shirt, Single on a Saturday Night or every night. And that is Family Printing. They'll be back for the next show to tell us all about family printing. Right here, Single on a Saturday Night, TGI Fridays, every fourth Saturday. And you can follow at TGI Fridays City Ave on Instagram. Let's go. Because we want to have some happy times in this marriage. Happy. Let's get happy.